Yes, well, good morning dear students. So in the last session we were talking about here the electrophilic substitution reaction. So the same session that today I am going to handle, because it has that yesterday's video, it has some voice issues. So the same session I am going to handle today. Okay, that is electrophilic substitution reaction. So in that we already discussed, that is halogenation reaction and so nitration reaction and sulfonation and Friedel-Crafts alkylation. So but we have that the last one particular electrophilic substitution reaction, that is nothing but so Friedel-Crafts acylation, guys. So let's talk about that particular electrophilic substitution reaction, which is most important. Okay, so let's talk about that electrophilic substitution reaction, electrophilic substitution reaction. So in that we have that last but not the least one, that is a Friedel-Crafts acylation. Friedel-Crafts acylation. Okay, let's talk about this particular reaction today. Okay, so Friedel-Crafts acylation, that's also kind of a electrophilic substitution reaction, guys. Okay, so what might be the reaction would be here? Let's talk about that, a general reaction. Okay, so of course we have your benzene. Okay, suppose, and benzene that has to be combines with your acyl halide, where X can be here chlorine or bromine, guys. Okay, suppose where X will be here chlorine, means that would be here acyl chloride, where suppose X can be bromine, means acyl bromide. Okay, when benzene supposed to be combines with here acyl halide. Okay, in the presence of anhydrous aluminium chloride, guys. Okay, so then the compound we are going to get here, means the major product we are going to get would be here, that is aromatic ketone. We are going to get here aromatic ketone, and the byproduct must be hydrochloric acid, HCl, guys. Okay, this will be the general reaction of that here Friedel-Crafts acylation. And we have to know that here a major difference between Friedel-Crafts alkylation and acylation. So where in that case of alkylation we have been used there over so RX. Okay, alkyl halide. So in this case where R plus means methyl carbocation or ethyl carbocation would be the, you know, that means electrophile, guys. Okay, so in the case of acylation, so we have been used here RCOX. In this case electrophile must be here RCO plus. RCO plus would be the here so electrophile, which acts as here RCO plus electrophile, as in the case of acylation. In the case of alkylation, R plus would be the electrophile, guys. Okay, so this will be the you know that total contrast in between that alkylation and as well as that acylation. We have to know these two particular thing here. When we have to go through that acylation, then we have to use this particular compound or molecule, or when we have to go through that here alkylation, then we have to use here RX. Okay, in the case of alkylation, R plus, R either it may be an alkyl group. Okay, so it's an alkyl group, either it may be an so methyl carbocation or ethyl carbocation. Okay, so in this case of acylation, RCOX we have been used, guys. So in this particular case electrophile must be here RCO plus. So very easy, right? No. Okay, so guys, this is a general you know that reaction for that Friedel-Crafts acylation. So let us take here a specific example for that. Okay, so example, the same thing we have to use here, means that our benzene, which is an aromatic hydrocarbon. Okay, so that going to be combined with here CH3COCl, means R can be replaced by here CH3, X can be replaced by here Cl. So that is nothing but here acetyl chloride, we can call it to be as in this particular molecule as in here acetyl chloride. And these two particular things have been undergo reaction in the presence of anhydrous aluminum chloride as a catalyst, anhydrous AlCl3 as a catalyst, and thereby the product we are going to get here, the product is must be, which is nothing but here acetophenone. The product we are going to get here, that is acetophenone. Okay, so the product is must be HCl. Okay, so this will be a complete reaction for that here of Friedel-Crafts acylation, where we are going to get product as an here acetophenone. But the thing is that we have to know that mechanism, how that acetophenone is going to be formed there over. So what kind of that so steps it has involving for that getting that product as a means getting a major product. Okay, we have to know that mechanism here. Okay, so let's talk about that particular mechanism right now. Okay, how does this the product has been getting here? So let's talk about that one. Please guys take down. I'm going to rub right now. Okay, yes. So let's talk about that mechanism of this particular reaction. Yes, mechanism. So obviously in the case of electrophilic substitution reaction, okay, we have been followed here three particular steps. One will be formation of electrophile, okay, and second one will be here formation of intermediate carbocation, and third one here, so removal of proton from that intermediate carbocation. So these three major steps we have been involved in here for getting that our actual product. Okay, so let's go with that here, the step one. Okay, so that is formation of electrophile, formation of an electrophile. Yes, so obviously we have that here acetyl chloride CH3COCl, acetyl chloride. Okay, so when this acetyl chloride supposed to be reacts with here anhydrous aluminium chloride. Okay, then what happened actually, so these Cl molecules get eliminated out of this particular compound, and thereby acetyl chloride becomes CH3CO plus, means an electrophile, it becomes an electrophile. Okay, so we are going to get your actual electrophile here CH3CO plus, and the byproduct as in here AlCl4 minus, AlCl4 minus. Why? Because that Cl has been connected with that here, so AlCl3, and which becomes here AlCl4 minus guys, and thereby so this acetyl carbocation has been formed CH3CO plus. Okay, it is one of the electrophile. Acetyl carbocation is an electrophile we are going to get in the case of Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction, that is nothing but electrophilic substitution reaction guys. Okay, so this is the first step, right? And the second step will be here. Step second. So in this particular case what happened? So formation of intermediate carbocation guys, formation of intermediate carbocation. So look at here, we have our aromatic hydrocarbon, nothing but benzene. Okay, that going to be reacts with that here our actual electrophile, that is acetyl carbocation. What actually going to happen right now? So by the way, benzene it has that pi electron, right? That pi electron that has to be attack over that here an electrophile, thereby this particular carbocation getting here positive charge. Why? Because their electron has been involving in that here chemical reaction, so this particular carbon has positive charge on it, and next carbon that has been attacked by here that particular electrophile as a COCH3. So this will be an intermediate so carbocation guys. So this product what we are going to get here, this will be the intermediate carbocation, intermediate carbocation. carbocation guys. Okay, so this will be the second step guys. So please take down. Okay, the step 1 will be here formation of an electrophile. So we are going to get here electrophile. Okay, second step formation of an intermediate carbocation. Obviously we formed here, we produced here, so our actual intermediate carbocation. The third step is must be, so from that here intermediate carbocation we are going to remove that one proton, thereby we are going to get our actual compound. Okay, so let's take down. Okay, let's go with that here third step. That is formation of, means that removal of proton from intermediate carbocation. So guys, we have that compound. So which is our intermediate carbocation. So this intermediate carbocation that has been reacts with here aluminum tetrachloride. Okay, so in this case the negative charge what we are going to having here on that chlorine. Okay, so this particular negative charge has been attract here one hydrogen from that intermediate carbocation, and thereby this particular bond has been shift over here, and thereby so this carbocation has been neutralized. Okay, so then you just see here what actually going to happen. Okay, yes, so the bond as it is we have to write remain like this, and this bond has been shifting over here, so we got bond here. Okay, and we have here COCH3 as our major product, and in this case one Cl that has been react with that here means connected with that here hydrogen and to become HCl, and AlCl3 that catalyst has been remain as it is. Okay, so this will be our required compound guys, required product, that is acetophenone. Okay, acetophenone would be our actual product we are going to getting here. So in the case of Friedel-Crafts acylation reaction guys. Okay, so this is the actual mechanism regarding that Friedel-Crafts acylation. So please take down guys. Okay, so we have that, and by the way this is step 3rd. Okay, removal of proton from intermediate carbocation. Okay, so please take down. So guys, this is all about here that electrophilic substitution reaction we have been come across with it here. So number of electrophilic substitution reactions like so halogenation, nitration, sulfonation, and Friedel-Crafts alkylation, and ultimately we got here Friedel-Crafts acylation guys. So next we are going to talk about here some few important reactions regarding that here benzene. So what actually going to happen when benzene supposed to be reacts with that here hydrogen, or what actually going to happen when benzene supposed to be reacts with that here halogen. So then what kind of the product that going to be formed there, or what might be the impact on that benzene when it undergoes combustion process. Okay, so these set of a reaction we have right now. So let's talk about here one by one. Please take down this case. Yes. S. Combustion process. So combustion, the term, what does it indicates? So combustion is nothing but here a burning of a substance in the presence of air or oxygen, right? So that we can call it to be as in here combustion. So there is the same thing we have to know about here benzene. But when benzene undergo combustion process, what might be the compound it's going to form? Okay, let's see that reaction here. So we have our benzene C6H6. Okay, when it undergo combustion process, and it would form here two type of a product here. One will be so carbon dioxide, since it has 6 hydrogen, that's why it would form 3 moles of water molecule. And the product is must be here carbon dioxide and water molecule. Have to keep in your mind, whenever the benzene supposed to be undergo combustion, it would form here two set of a product here. One will be carbon dioxide and another will be here a water molecule, right? So let's balance that equation. So since it has that 12 oxygen and here 3 plus 15 oxygen, so that's why 15 by 2 oxygen we have to take here. Okay, so let's make a complete balanced equation. Okay, so this is a kind of a reaction where benzene undergo combustion. Next to that here, addition of hydrogen. What actually going to happen when benzene supposed to be undergo hydrogenation? Okay, or when it combines with hydrogen, what might be the compound it would form? Okay, so let's take up our actual benzene. Okay, that benzene supposed to be undergo hydrogenation in the presence of nickel as a catalyst, guys. Okay, nickel as a catalyst. Then the compound it going to be formed, it must be cyclohexane, guys. Okay, so benzene to cyclohexane. So benzene becomes cyclohexane means when it going to actually happen, when benzene undergo hydrogenation, guys. Okay, then only we are going to get here cyclohexane. Okay, so we have to know that particular thing, aromatic to aliphatic hydrocarbon. Okay, so we have to know these things. So the second one means that here the last but not the least we have that reaction, that is addition of halogen or reacts with that chlorine, simply we can say that. Okay, let us we have benzene that going to be combined with here chlorine molecule. Okay, and this reaction has been takes place in the presence of sunlight. Okay, in the presence of sunlight, this particular halogenation reactions toward how that benzene has been taking place, guys. So obviously the compound is must be, okay, so each carbon atom would get here chlorine atom. So thereby it becomes benzene hexachloride, commonly we can say that BHC, benzene hexachloride. So this will be the general reactions, general chemical properties of that benzene, guys. So benzene that can undergo electrophilic substitution reaction, okay, and combustion reaction, and so hydrogenation and halogenation. So this set of a reaction has been given by that here corresponding benzene, guys. So this is all about their chemical properties of that benzene, and we have that here one of the most important concept, guys. That is, so the directive influence of a functional group in a mono substituted benzene. So that's also most important. Okay, so we have that here some interesting factor about that benzene. Let's talk about that particular concept. Okay, so I hope all of you understand this particular concept, guys. So please take down. Yes. Directive influence of functional group in a mono substituted benzene. Yes. So what is mean by here directive influence of a functional group in a mono substituted benzene? See, the main agenda of this particular concept is that here we have to make here mono substituted benzene into di-substituted benzene. Okay, the di-substituted benzene has been formed, but that particular product has been depending on that here the existing group which is present in a ring. Okay, what I mean is that, so let me tell you that here Okay, suppose we have to, first of all we should have to know here a monosubstituted benzene. Monosubstituted benzene, guys. So what is that monosubstituted benzene means? The benzene ring, at least it should have a single substituent, single group. Okay, say for example, if you can consider here benzene ring, right? So monosubstituted, mono means single, right? So that benzene, it has that a single functional group or single substituent. So this whole compound we can call it as here monosubstituted benzene. Okay, or CHO, that's also monosubstituted, or NO2, that's also monosubstituted benzene. Okay, so this monosubstituted benzene, our main intention is to be here, we have to convert here monosubstituted benzene into disubstituted benzene, guys. But the disubstituted product that has been formed, no, that is going to be depending on that here the existing group which is already present on that here benzene. Okay, so these particular groups here that can, you know, that decided that here, so that formation of disubstituted product, I must say that. Okay, so this will be the actual concept we are going to, you know, that learn in the case of directive influence of functional group in a monosubstituted benzene. Very much interesting, guys. Let's talk about that one by one here. So let's make a clarity about this particular concept, guys. Okay, so the thing is that first what we have to do here, we have to convert monosubstituted product into here disubstituted product. Okay, so but disubstituted product has been depending on that here the existing group which is present on that particular ring. Okay, that particular group, what actually going to happen, what actually going to do means that, so that particular group that can, so directs that here incoming group to that particular position, guys. Okay, so directive influence of functional group in a monosubstituted benzene means, see here, suppose if you can consider, okay, a phenol which is an example for monosubstituted product. Okay, then so this particular monosubstituted benzene or a product has been, you know, converted into disubstituted compound, means that X can be any particular group, any incoming group. Okay, so I just have to mention here itself, but the thing is that you have to know the concept actually. Okay, so monosubstituted product has been, you know, that converted into disubstituted product, right? Here phenol also is, means that OH group also is there, and X, it might be any particular group there must be. Okay, so here it is a mono and it is a disubstituted product, but this particular product has been depending on that here this particular group actually. Okay, so this particular group is there, no, that can decides that here, so this incoming group where it actually going to locate, either it may be an ortho, meta or para. This particular group that can decides that here incoming group at particular position. Okay, so this particular group that can wants to that here incoming group either ortho or meta or para position. Okay, it completely depends on that here existing group, guys. Existing group means that is already the group which is present in that ring. Okay, so this is the actually the concept we have to know here, the directive influence of functional group in a monosubstituted benzene. Okay, and based on these particular directive influences, the various groups or a functional group or a, so some substituent that has been classified into two set of categories, guys. What are those categories means, if any particular substituent or a group that can direct that here incoming group to that here ortho and para position, then that particular group we can call to be as on here ortho and para directing groups. Okay, this is the one set of category. So the second one would be here, the means that substituent or a group that can direct that here incoming group. Okay, the group which is wants to come to that benzene ring. Okay, that we can call to be as an here incoming group. Okay, the existing group or a substituent or a group which can directs that incoming group to that at meta position, then only that such kind of a group we can call to be as an here meta directing groups. Okay, we have the two set of category. One will be ortho para directing groups and another will be here meta directing group, guys. Okay, so we have to know that a major contrast in between these two set of category. So let's talk about one by one here, so you guys, you know, easily understand this. Okay, so let's take down, guys. So this will be for an example purpose I have wrote here. Okay, so let's take up the concept. So based on the directive influences, directive influence of various group or a substituent or a functional group classified into two categories, guys. Okay, so one will be here. Very first means I can say that here ortho and para directing groups. Okay, so why does we call to be as in here ortho and para directing groups means? So you just see that here definition. So when substituent or a group, so when substituent or a group which is nothing but here these are existing group which is already present in a ring. Okay, so group which can directs incoming group at ortho and para position. Ortho and para position is called ortho and para directing groups, guys. Ortho and para directing groups. Okay, is called ortho and para directing groups. So example, if you can see for such kind of a groups means example for that ortho and para directing groups, it might be OH, chlorine, bromine. Okay, so methyl group, ethyl group, or you can take methoxy group, methoxy. Okay, so these particular groups we can call to be as in here. So ortho and para directing groups, guys. Okay, the second thing is that the second category what we have made here. Okay, so when substituent, or I can say that there is a meta directing groups. When substituent or a group yes, when a substituent or a group which can direct so when a substance, when a substituent or a group which can direct incoming group at meta position is called meta directing groups, guys. Meta directing groups, which we can call to be as on here meta directing groups. So this is a second category what we have that meta classification means there over. Okay, so and let us give an example for here such kind of groups, that is if you can take here NO2 nitro group is an example for here meta directing group, and if you can take here aldehyde group, so carboxylic acid group, okay, and COR and COOR ester. Okay, so these particular and SO3H group also, guys. Okay, so all these groups are that example for that here meta directing groups. Okay. So these particular groups supposed to be which is present in a ring means, so these particular groups that can direct that incoming group to that here meta position, rather para and as well as that ortho. Okay, so such, that's why, so we can call to be as an here such kind of a group as an here meta directing group. What are the major role of this particular group means, so this particular group that can direct that here incoming group means that those groups wants to come to that ring. Okay, so those kind of groups that this particular group that can direct that such kind of a group at meta position base. So this is ultimately we can call to be as an here so meta directing groups, guys. Okay, so let us go with that here. That some let us take an here. So how such some groups are behaving as an here ortho and as well as that para directing groups. How these particular groups which behaves as an here so meta directing groups. So let's take an their particular so structure means resonating structure by the discussing their resonating structure of a particular group. Then we actually came to know that so why do we call to be as an these particular groups as a so ortho and para directing groups and as well as that meta directing groups. So let's go with that particular stuff. Okay, so I just have to write here ortho and para directing groups, ortho and para directing groups. So ortho and para directing groups commonly we can call to be as an here so activating groups, guys. So that we can also call to be as an here activating groups. Okay, so activating groups, yes. So let's go with that by taking an certain examples. Suppose, so why do we call to be as an some groups like that so either it may be an methyl group or OH or Cl or Br, or you can take here methoxy. Okay, or amine group, NH2 group. Okay, or you can take here this ethyl group. Okay, so these groups are an here example for that ortho and para directing groups. So why do we call to be as an here these groups as an here so ortho and para directing groups means it has that certain reason, guys. Okay, so our main intention is to here we get to know why do we call to be as an these particular groups as an here ortho and para directing. Okay, so you just see here the thing is that so anyone among these particular group supposed to be present in that ring. Okay, so what actually these groups makes means this particular group does their over here that can enhance that electron density in the ring at ortho and as well as that para position. Okay, so that's why we would call to be as an here such kind of a group as an here ortho and as well as that para directing groups. Okay, and these particular groups supposed to be which is present in a ring means then what may be the impact on that ring means so there will be so electron density in the ring has been decreases at ortho and as well as that para position, but somewhat electron density has to be more on that meta position base. That's why these groups we can call to be as an here meta directing and these groups we can call to be as an here ortho directing groups. Okay, so ortho and para directing groups. So let us take an here their particular resonance structure. Okay, then you guys actually come to know that. Okay, so I'm just that rub this particular concept, so you just take down, guys. Yes. So ortho and para directing, ortho and para directing groups. So example that I have already given that. So like OH, CH3, okay, methoxy, Cl, chlorine bromine, or you can take your NH2 group, amine group, okay, and etc. Okay, so we have that these particular group we can call to be as an here ortho and para directing group. Suppose, so we have justification, right? Of course we have your one particular certain group. So this OH group it has in that, so which is present in a ring. So OH group here which acts as in here electron donating group which is nothing but existing group. Okay, see here, and oxygen it has that 2 lone pair of electron on it. Okay, so if you can see the resonance structure, guys, what actually going to happen? Why do we call to be as in these particular groups as a ortho and para directing group means? So by seeing their canonical structure, you guys actually come to know that. So why do we call to be as in these groups as in here ortho and para directing group? So when this particular electron that has to be shift over, then this particular electron that has to be located on this particular carbon atom, guys. Then you just see that. So in this particular case, during resonance structure, there will be position of substrate cannot be altered, guys, but there will be here, so position of electron pair has been changes, that's it. Okay, so here bond I have to write as it is, okay, but here one pair of electron which is comes here means that single bond becomes double bond and OH plus. Okay, and when electron that has to be shift over this particular carbon atom means it becomes negative charge, carbanion. Okay, so next, this is a structure first. Let us take this as canonical structure or contributing structure, and when this negative charge means that pair of electron that has to be shift over here, so then this particular electron has been shifting here, guys. Okay, so look at the changes there. So while writing that canonical structure, you guys have to focus where actually negative charge has been located, on which particular position. Okay, we have to know that here. So substrate next carbon atom we can call to be as here ortho, their next meta, and their next para. Ortho, meta, para. Okay, so in the second structure we got here negative charge on at ortho position. Next. Okay, so when this electron comes to here means it becomes double bond. When electron has been shifting over this particular carbon, then para position will got negative charge. Okay, OH plus. So the structure's third. Okay, so actually then when this particular pair of electron has been shift over here, then this particular pair of electron has to be come across that here this particular carbon. Okay, so then okay, if you can you know that, write it as like that right now. So we'll got negative charge here bond we got, and here bond we got double bond O plus H. Okay, so ultimately when this electron has been shifted over here, this double bond becomes single bond, means this particular pair of electron has been shifting over oxygen. Thereby we are going to get here a resonance hybrid structure as an like that, guys. Okay, you can see here the resonance hybrid. The overall structure means that if you can consider these all the canonical structure, if you can equate to this only with the one particular structure, guys. Okay, so OH, this is a resonance hybrid. Okay, so these all are, you know, that canonical structure or contributing structure, guys. Okay, so guys, if we can observe here, so we have that 5 structure for this particular compound. Okay, so during in this particular structure, guys, so during writing that their particular resonance structure, so what you guys going to observe means, so you just observe here structure second and as well as that structure third and structure 4. So where you guys know that how to find that negative charge actually means at ortho position and as well as that para position and again at ortho position. Means, so when these particular groups that has to be present in a ring means the electron density has to be maximum at that ortho position and para position and again as well as that ortho position, guys. That's why these groups we can call to be as an here ortho and as well as that para directing groups. When such groups are going to present in that ring means, so these groups that can made and here, so incoming groups at here ortho and as well as that para position. Okay, so these particular groups that can direct that incoming group at ortho and as well as that para position, guys. So that's why we can call to as an these particular groups as an here ortho and as well as that para directing groups. Okay, so we have to know this particular thing, guys. So as the same case we would also have to know about here, so meta directing groups. So but you can see that, so in this particular structure, so you know, at meta position do you observe any kind of negative charge here? No, not at all. We couldn't have that any particular, you know, that negative charge at meta position. Okay, but electron density has to be maximum at that only ortho and as well as that para position itself, guys. Okay, that's why such kind of a group we can call to be as on here ortho and para directing groups. What actually these groups going to make means, so they can direct that incoming group at ortho and as well as that para position, rather at meta position there will be electron density is going to be very less. See, you can find any kind of negative charge on that meta position, never. Okay, so this is the stuff, guys. Okay, so let's take that the same concept we are going to take up for that here, meta directing groups, which are also most important, guys. Meta directing groups. Meta directing groups, right? So example meta directing groups means, if you can say that here NO2, okay, so CHO, COOH, COR, COOR or SO3H, guys. Okay, so anyone among these particular groups supposed to be present in a particular ring means, so these particular existing group that can direct that incoming group at a meta position. Why? Because suppose if any one of these group has to be present in the ring means, so there will be electron density has to be maximum in the case of at meta position. Okay, so why? Because these groups basically electron withdrawing group, so these groups that can withdraw that electrons from that ring itself, thereby electron density has to be decreases at ortho and as well as that para position rather at meta. So at meta position somewhat electron density has to be more as compared to ortho and as well as that para. That's why, so meta position is being electron rich there over, that's why that incoming groups that has to be command located at meta position itself, guys. That's why such particular groups we can call to be as on here, so meta directing groups. You just see that their particular resonating structure. Okay, so if you can have a ring having that actual existing group as a NO2 nitro group it has, okay, you just see that, so NO2 group is being an electron withdrawing group. Okay, so what actual role of this NO2 means, so this particular group that can withdraws that electron from that ring itself. So that's why this particular pair of electron has been shifting over here and this bond has been shifted on that oxygen. Okay, so then you just look at that kind of a reaction. Okay, so just here electron pair is going to be changing their position, guys, that's it. Okay, when this particular electron has been shifted over here, this particular carbon atom got here positive charge. Okay, and here N, so this particular bond has been shifted over oxygen, so O minus, and here oxygen O, and nitrogen it has positive charge for their neutralization. Okay, so here bond we got as it is. Next, so in order to make neutralize this particular carbon atom, this particular electron has been shifting over here. Okay, then what it becomes? Yes, so we got here bond and we got here another bond here. So when electron that has to be shifted over here, this particular carbon atom got positive charge. You just observe on what particular position that particular positive charge has been occurring. Okay, so N, O minus, O and plus. So this is ortho position, which is meta position, and which is para position. In the structure second we got positive charge on at ortho, in third structure we got positive charge on at para, but we didn't get positive charge on at meta position. You just look at that. This is the total contrast. Why do we call to be as a such particular group as on here? Means that so meta directing means we couldn't find out that negative charge means that positive charge on at meta position, but rather we are going to get here positive charge on at ortho and as well as that para itself. Okay, so at meta position somewhat electron density has to be more as compared to ortho and as well as that para, isn't it? Okay, so in order to neutralize this particular carbon atom, thus bonded pair of electron has to be shifting over here. Okay, so then what it becomes. Yes, so this, suppose if bond pair of electron will comes here, means it becomes, it carrying here double bond, and which is also double bond, and this particular carbon atom bears positive charge on it, and we will have O minus plus and as well as that O. Okay, so in order to make, you know, that neutralize this particular carbon atom, so this electron has to be shifted over here and this electron will comes here, guys. Then the ultimate resonance hybrid of this particular, all the canonical structure would be here. So I just have to write here. Okay, so we'll come here, the double bond, N means as it is the first compound what we had here, the same compound we got at the last, but position of pair of electron will be changed here, means that position of double bond. Okay, where we can got there over at 1,2 position we got here double bond, there 1,6 position we got. Okay, so this is complete resonating, so resonance hybrid of these particular structures, and we'll take first, this will be second, and this would be her third and fourth and fifth. But you just observe, okay, so in the structure second and structure third, you just have to observe here the only positive charge we got at ortho and para position, but we didn't get a particular positive charge on that meta position. Okay, so at meta position somewhat electron density has to be more as compared to these two particular position, guys. So that's why the incoming groups that has to be command located at meta position. So this is the major role of these particular groups. So whenever these particular groups supposed to be present in a ring, means so there will be electron density on a meta position somewhat more as compared to ortho and para. That's why these groups that can direct that incoming group at at meta position, guys. Okay, so this is the actual stuff we have to know about meta directing groups. So what is mean by meta directing groups? The group or a substrate that has to be directs that incoming group at meta position. What is mean by ortho and para directing groups? So the group or a substrate that has to be directs that incoming group at ortho and as well as that para position. Okay, so this is the stuff we have to know, guys. So this is all about that. So directive influence of a functional group in a mono substituted benzene, guys. Okay, so this we have to know here. Okay, so the in hydrocarbon ultimately we have at the end of this stage we have here the last concept we have that in the case of entire hydrocarbon chapter, that is, let's talk about that one. Let's take down this particular concept, guys. Yes. So concept we have here, the last but not the least one here, carcinogenicity and toxicity, guys, and toxicity. So what is that carcinogenicity and toxicity? Okay, so here carcinogenic, the term indicating here cancer producing property, So toxic, which is nothing but here toxicity is nothing but here somewhat toxic in nature, that's it, somewhat toxic in nature. Okay, here carcinogenic, which is nothing but here cancer producing property, guys. Okay, so carcinogenicity and toxicity means in the case of aromatic hydrocarbon, so which particular groups could behave as an here carcinogenicity and toxicity means we have that. See, guys, benzene and many of its polynuclear hydrocarbons are carcinogenic and toxic in nature, guys, and toxic in nature. Okay, so we have to know one particular thing here. The carcinogenic nature of that polynuclear hydrocarbon of that benzene is due to that here the incomplete combustion of tobacco, coal, and as well as that petroleum. Okay, so the thing is that benzene and many of its polynuclear hydrocarbons are carcinogenic and toxic in nature. This is the thing, right? So but my question is that how does that polynuclear hydrocarbons are going to form there over? So this particular compound is an completely responsible for that here carcinogenic property means. So how does this particular compound is going to be formed there? So the thing is that this particular compound has been formed here incomplete combustion of here completely means polynuclear hydrocarbons. You know, the thing is that so this particular compound has been formed by here incomplete combustion of that coal. So polynuclear hydrocarbon has been formed by here incomplete. So let's write down here. Okay, so polynuclear hydrocarbons has been formed by incomplete combustion. Most important guys, this particular term, incomplete combustion of coal, okay, petroleum and tobacco. Okay, so this polynuclear hydrocarbon has been formed by here incomplete combustion of coal, petroleum and tobacco as well. Okay, so then only that polynuclear hydrocarbon has been formed and that could be responsible for that here carcinogenic nature. Okay, so polynuclear hydrocarbon that has to be enter into that human body and that can damages that here DNA. Okay, and which causes ultimately cancer guys. Okay, so when this polynuclear hydrocarbon has been formed, no, this when enter into that human body means what actually going to make that? So that going to made here, so that going to be, you know, that causes here first of all that can damages this particular polynuclear hydrocarbon supposed to be enter into that human body, that would causes, that would damages first of all, it damages you know DNA and cause cancer guys, and cause cancer. Okay, so when polynuclear hydrocarbon supposed to be enter into that human body means it could damages the DNA and ultimately that could, you know, responsible for that here cancer guys. Okay, so this is the actual thing we have to know about here. Some, you know, that ultimately we can call it as a drawbacks obviously. So that is carcinogenicity and toxicity. Okay, so this we have to know about about that particular concept of aromatic hydrocarbon and example for that carcinogenesis. If you can give an example for that carcinogenesis. So that is 1,2 benzanthracene. 1,2 benzanthracene is an example for that carcinogenesis. So and 1,2 benzpyrene. 1,2 benzpyrene. So these all are, you know, example for that corresponding carcinogenesis guys. Okay, guys, this is all about here carcinogenicity and as well as that toxicity guys. Okay, so have to know these particular concept. I think I hope all of you understood this particular concept. I hope that's it. I don't know about yourself. Okay, so and yes, so this is ultimately all about here aromatic hydrocarbons guys. So I think this particular chapter has been completed. So tomorrow onwards we are going to take up here a new particular chapter, that is some basic concepts of chemistry. Okay, so let's talk about this particular concept in that next session guys. So thank you one and all. Okay, so and don't waste your time guys, be serious on studies. Okay, so in the next session I'm going to, you know, that so announcing that which are the chapters are appearing for your preparatory examination. So be prepared for these particular with those particular chapters. Okay, thank you one and all.